Tell him I got the juice.
If you are a believer and currently testing out the dating scenes, check this video out.
Encouragement is don't date a fantasy or a maybe or a one day or a could be. Like, date someone for who they are right now. Like,
That right there is huge. I can't tell you how many times, especially I think in my experiences of just people, not even necessarily in the dating realm, but just people, you befriend people, you connect with people, and it seems like they just have a lot of potential. It seems like they have just such a high ceiling. I really think that this person could get to this place and could get to this positioning. And I really hope for the best for this person, because if they do get there, then that kind of makes this make more sense, or whatever the case is. And in all honesty, I think we end up selling ourselves short because we bank on a lot of hopefuls and what could be, and we ignore at the cost of that what is. And a lot of times what people are choosing to reveal to you when you meet them, as you get to know them, as you're courting and being in this process, is oftentimes what you can expect from this person later on. And sometimes we kind of build this thing where we think we can change them, and we think we can change people. And hey, my influence is big enough to where it'll change this person, and I know I have what it takes to push this person this place. And again, I'm not saying that there isn't any room for growth, but she's going to actually come back and kind of mention something here in this next clip that I think is going to clear a lot of what she means by this. But ultimately, I think we set ourselves up really badly when we move by what could be, what should be, what we hope for instead of what is. And we miss a lot of flags potentially about somebody in the dating process. But check this out.
date someone that when you spend time with them and you're around them, you leave wanting to know Jesus more. Like,
Man. Okay. So you spend time with them and you're like, yo, like, this person just has this maybe influence, connection, relationship, just the way that we're able to connect and flow and have conversations about Jesus. Not even just conversations, but I see fruit. I see them actively pursuing living a life that is reflective of Jesus. They're in community, they're in counsel and community or accountability in their lives. They go to church. I mean, of course, that's not the end all be all, but that's a start, right? But there's conversation involved. I can see the fruit, their life. I look at it and I go, whoa. Now, this is Christ is not only just present in this, but present in that person's life. You want to leave that space as you're dating, as you're in that process. Yo, Jesus is in their life, and I see them pursuing fruit, and that matters a lot.
you're like, this person makes me more like Jesus. This person pushes me closer to Jesus. This person helps me make a difference for Jesus.
Man, all right, so that's it. That's it. That was the quick bit. But all of this is legit. You have to keep in mind as you're pursuing, as you're dating, don't ignore what is. Okay? Like that is so important. Don't ignore the things that you're seeing in this person in process of courting them. It's, you have a lot of conversations, a lot of direction, a lot of vision, a lot of things that are made clear, and you have some sort of plan or something to look to. But sometimes in the process, we can look so far ahead that we ignore what is. And there could be a lot of flags about this individual that maybe isn't best suitable for you and your direction and where you're going and the life that you're trying to live. And that's okay. We kindly move forward and we move on to the next individual and we move on to the next person or the next opportunity. But we don't want to bank on what could be and what we hope for, because then we set ourselves up to fall short every time. And then we kind of create a lot of expectations in our minds for this person. And then they don't reach those expectations in a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. And it brings about a lot of sour taste. And then this is how we get to those nasty split ups and breakups, and even to the point of divorces if it reached all the way to marriage. And then you kind of hear those thoughts were like, man, I just never knew. And well, I always thought. And well, we got to a point where we just ignored a lot of things that were already shown to us. So don't date a could be, should be. Are you able to accept them for where they are now, who they are now? And here's a few questions I think is important to keep in mind too, as you're dating and as you're in this process. much like a lot of things that she said. Of course, keeping Jesus in the center, keeping him as the foundation. And does this person push you closer to Jesus, make you more like Jesus, make you want to make more of a difference for Jesus? Like all of those things. Beautifully said. Here's a few questions that I would consider you asking as you're consistently looking to pursue someone, court someone, those kinds of things. If this person never changes and this is who they are for the rest of life, am I still willing to commit? It's a tough question, but it's something to consider as you're in that process. Man, is this somebody that I can look at as presently constructed and say I can do life with this person? And then here are some other questions, actually, and I'm gonna pull up the video because I think it's really good too, even in Christian spaces in our dating process, to consider along your dating journey. All right, so I'm not necessarily gonna play the video because it's got some copyrighted music in the background, but check out this comment that I want you to see that has the questions here. Okay. And this is something I think is really important to consider, along with so many others that you might come up with. If someone said you're a lot like your partner, would this be a compliment to you? Mm, something to consider. Are you truly fulfilled or just less lonely? This relationship and connection has purpose, carries purpose, kingdom purpose, right? Are you able to show up unapologetically yourself, or do you feel the need to show up differently to please your partner? So if you feel like you got to walk on eggshells with your Christian identity around this person, it probably ain't the one, right? Are you in love with who your partner is right now as a whole, or are you in love with their good side, the potential of them, or the idea of them? That literally goes back to everything we've been talking about in this whole video. We want to be able to leave room to accept what is and not bank on so much on what could be that we miss what is, and then we eventually actually are at greater risk of hurting ourselves in the process. And then finally, would you want your future or imagined child to date someone like your partner? Mm, mm. These are some really good questions. This actually went trending. This has like 2 million plus likes, but I think these are really good questions. I think these are phenomenal questions to ask. And my biggest encouragement to you, if you're dating, if you're out here testing these streets, listen, take your time. Take your time. Don't rush into anything that you may not have the capacity for, and be willing to go through a process, man. There's so many people who are in a rush and trying to run to altars and run to marriage scenes because it looks cute and you get to say you're a wife and husband in your bios and you get to introduce each other as wifey and husband and those kinds of things, man. Listen, take your time, be patient, and be willing to go through a process of getting to know someone. And don't put a timetable on things. Don't put a timetable on things. Be willing to go through the process of getting to know somebody, befriending them, getting to know them as a friend, those kinds of things. Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Take your time and be in that process. And don't rush into a space of commitment without knowing information that's necessary prior to making that decision. What is your vision? What are your goals? Where are you guys trying to go? Assignment on your life? Is it compatible? Does it make sense? Do you have the capacity to make room for this person in your life? These kinds of things are important, especially even in the dating scene, because here's the kicker: we date to marry. We don't just date to date around here, brother and sister. We do these things in order, in fashioned order, for the purpose of reaching the space of marriage and long-term commitment. And if you're out here playing around, going from one to another, not looking for commitment, and you're a Christian, nah, we're gonna stop that. We're gonna stop that immediately. All right. So I appreciate you guys so much for tuning into this video. If you like this kind of reaction style videos that we're posting up here, definitely like this video, share it with a friend, subscribe if you're new, and turn on the post bell notification so you know the next time we're posting here on this channel, as we're dedicated to building happy, healthy, whole, and biblical relationships. And if you're unfamiliar with boundaries and the types of boundaries that maybe you should set as you're venturing out into your dating space, definitely click this video and we'll take you over there to that discussion that we had, sharing 5 boundaries regarding dating. I appreciate you guys so much. And until next time, be easy and be breezy, my friend. Peace.